Howdy, howdy, my fellow gamers, and welcome to our first ever album review that we're doing on this channel. Today we're going to be breaking down Ice Nine Kills' new album, The Silver Scream. I know I'm a couple weeks late, but that's because I've just been blasting it on repeat, non-stop, this entire month. Came out just in time for Halloween, because it is a horror-themed album. Every single one of these tracks is based off of an iconic horror film. If you're a fan of horror, gore, suspense, you'll find something on this album to love. We're going to break down the music, the creativity, track by track, just kind of talk about what we want and everything about it. It's the 5th studio album from Ice Nine Kills, and it's fantastic in the musical level. We got JD's best solos and guitar riffs, some fantastic bass work from Justin. We've got Spencer's widest range of vocals I've ever heard on an album, and some great drum work from Connor before he departed the band. I do feel like a couple of tracks were mixed and mastered a little bit better, particularly American Nightmare and It Is the End. The guitar riff is a little difficult to hear at times during it, but aside from that, the mixing and mastering, everything is well balanced. It's worth a listen just for that. They do a lot of fun little Easter eggs and nuances and very subtle things that are fun to pick out as you go through the album. It ensures that your head doesn't stop banging, your foot doesn't stop tapping. Like, it comes out swinging, and it goes strong for 13 tracks. They're sticking to what they know in terms of creativity, where their last album, Every Trick in the Book, was based off of great works of literature. A fantastic album as well. I highly recommend you check that out. And I'm kind of excited to see what they're doing, though. I don't know if they're going to pigeonhole themselves and kind of this is going to be their thing, or if they're going to go back to just writing original content like Safe as Just a Shadow and The Predator and everything after this. Or if they're going to do something about great TV shows or something else. Because literature, horror movies, like, where are you going next here, Ice? I'm excited to see it. But any true horror fan, suspense fan, gore fan is going to find something to appreciate on this album. We're just going to break it down track by track for you guys, kind of dive right in and tell you guys what you need to know and if you should listen to it. It starts out with American Nightmare, the single that we got a couple months back, the new rendition of the lullaby, the phenomenal guitar work from JD in this one. Even though, like I said, some of the riffs are hard to hear during the verse, like, I love the scale that he's playing. I love the breakdown, and it's got one of the catchiest choruses on the album in my opinion. Then you got Thank God It's Friday after that, which starts out with this beautiful campfire haunting choir almost, and then it breaks out into the iconic key 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 ma ma ma, and it's not chi 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 ha ha ha. I'll put that on record right now. It was really fun to see the little things that they did, like the breakdown is all strings minus a couple heavy metal notes. The original lines from the older movies with The Town Crazy and Pamela Voorhees were great, and just all around it is a fun track. And I mean, I'm a very big Jason fan, so I think they did justice. Stabbing in the Dark follows Thank God It's Friday, and it's the song that we all knew was going to be about Michael Myers and Halloween. They all toured dressed up as different iconic killers. Spencer was Freddy, JD was Jason, and Justin was Michael. And it was the one that I was actually really anticipating hearing, just because I tweeted at them and I was like, hey, should I watch this? And they were like, definitely. And it was a pretty cool moment because I've never seen Halloween in my life. I binge watched all 10 of them before this came out, and it's one of my favorite tracks from the album, and that you get some deep, powerful notes from Spencer in the chorus, things I've never heard come out of him, and he kind of calls and responds to himself very nicely with a little bit of higher action there, and then it busts out into a phenomenal finger tapping verse riff, and it's a lot of fun. Lots of fun little Easter eggs and references in it. Haddonfield's my battlefield, and I really appreciated Mr. Sandman. Savages comes next after Stabbing in the Dark, and it was the one I was the least sure of when I first heard it. I'm a Texas Chainsaw fan, and it just felt like the chorus was forced, particularly with the line, eating you alive. It didn't seem to fit right in. But then I listened to it like 176 more times, and it's actually one of the catchier songs on the album. I think it's going to be a live staple of theirs in the future, because from the moment it starts, with the riff that they built, the drum beats, the chorus, just the way the song is built, you want to jump the whole time. And it's fantastically done, and it's got JD's best solo on the album. Lots of fun to listen to. Definitely give that a check. The Jig Is Up came after that one, and as a die-hard Saw fanboy, it is probably my favorite song on the album, tied with another one that we'll get to later, both musically and fanboy-wise. I love the rewind at the beginning, and then the explosive intro, and the Easter eggs. The breakdown is fantastic. I love the Zepp's theme that they put in behind it. I don't think it's the actual theme from Saw. They might not have been able to get the rights or whatever, but they did a rendition close enough to Zepp's theme that you know what's happening. And of course, game over. I also love the double bass work in the chorus. I love the drum work on this entire track, really. And the wordplay is very, very well done. The Jig Is Up is one of my favorite tracks on the album. Very happy they paid homage to Saw. After that, you've got A Grave Mistake, which they also released a few weeks prior. And it's about the Crow. It's one of the few songs that don't have dirty vocals in it. And it's got one of the catchiest choruses on the album. It's got a groovy verse that does nice transitions in and out. It's really hard to explain. Go listen to it is really all I can say about it. It's got a simplistic solo. It shows that they don't always need to shred 1,000 notes a second. You can play and have some space between your notes and make it hauntingly beautiful. It is one of my favorite songs on the album. You guys are actually probably going to hear me say that a lot. Following A Grave Mistake, you've got Rocking the Boat. Very obvious what it's about. One of the most iconic films in history, Jaws. And they did it perfectly. It actually ended up being Doom's favorite song on the record. And I figured it would be Merry Xmas, which we'll get to later. But this one is full of Easter eggs for Ice Nine Kills fans and Jaws fans. And just the puns and wordplay about fish and sharks. And they write in the title of every one of their albums into this. Every Trick in the Book, Safe is Just a Shadow, Last Chance to Make Amends. It's fun. The pre-chorus and chorus are just so well built and interconnected together. It's super catchy, flows great, phenomenal, and I love the breakdown where it is the original Jaws score with the strings and all you hear is the dun on the electrics, and it just explodes out. Definitely a track to check out. After that, you got Enjoy Your Sleigh. Came out about 18 months ago, but what I really dig about it, and I don't know if it was planned this way, they can say it was, and I'll believe them, is their last album was based off of great literature. This new album is based off of iconic horror. The Shining is both of those, both Stanley Kubrick and Stephen King. So it worked as a bridge between the two albums. It was placed intermittently halfway between the two albums. And I mean, it's just a lot of fun. The references, oh, I'm not going to hurt you, I'm just going to bash your fucking head in. Getting Sam Kubrick to come in and guest star on it. It's still the same song that we heard a few 18 months ago. It's not like A Day to Remember's Violence, where they remastered it a bit and added some other layers. It's still the exact same song, and it's still a hell of a fun time, and it's brutal. Definitely check it out. After that, you got Freak Flag, which is another one of my favorites from the album because it's got the best guitar riff on the album. It's so catchy, it's so groovy, and I love it. It's about the Devil's Rejects, which I unfortunately have not seen. I own it upstairs. I'm going to go watch it right meow. But it's just a lot of fun going into it, especially with the ride cymbal notes that they added into it. And when you listen to it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's a fantastic track all around. Great chorus, great build. Just, I love Freak Flag. I'm going to start incorporating it into my streams because obviously I'm Freak. And this is the circus. After Freak Flag, you've got The World in My Hands, which is based off of Edward Scissorhands. It's one of the few tracks with no dirty vocals on it, but it's got phenomenal cleans and a remarkable riff and catchy chorus, and I love the bass work on this track, especially in the chorus. You gotta really listen because you know it's the bass, but it's very well done. And it leads straight into the heaviest track on the album. One of the heaviest tracks I've ever heard them do, next to Connect the Cuts, Merry Xmas, which is absolutely brutal. Based off of Silent Night, Deadly Night. There's fun little notes in it. During the chorus, you'll hear Christmas bells going in sync with Spencer's lyrics and vocals and everything. And then they wrote a new jingle, and the snare, a simplistic, like 5 notes, just leads into this explosive solo. Beautifully which then transitions into an absolutely fucking heavy breakdown. Some deep death metal guttural vocals I've never heard come out of Spencer, and it was really cool to see him do that. I'm not a fan of that heavy of music, and I appreciated it. It was very well done. It's definitely one of the more interesting tracks for sure. And then right after that, right after this brutal savagery, you get the softest song on the track. It's a nice contrast, a nice black and white. You get Love Bites, which is American Werewolf in London, featuring Chelsea from Stranger Things. It's a tale beautifully spun by them together with a nice contrast and call and response. And the guitar work is interesting on this one. At first I heard it, I was like, boy, I guess it's heavy effects or just a very weird riff, but it grows on you. It fits the sway, the groove, the rhythm of the track. It's an interesting one, it's a fun one. But then it leads into the final track of the album, my other favorite song. This song is tied with my favorite for The Jig Is Up, and that is It Is the End. And it is the end of this review as well after this. We're gonna thank you for sticking with me so far. But It Is the End is based off of It. And the Circus of Freaks truly appreciates the circus music that they have, the great brass work that they brought in guest starring, and the creative genius that they had to sing as Pennywise, the dancing clown. And it's Spencer's crowning jewel on this album, in my opinion. His range of vocals is incredible. It gives me goosebumps to listen to every time, especially the intro. Just the way he sings as Pennywise is fan-fucking-tastic. And then after that, it gets fun. There's circus clowns and honking horns and a cappella circus music with great references to Georgie losing his hand in the pre-chorus to one of the fastest, fun, upbeat, incredible choruses on the track. And it all ends with this haunting, just great range of vocals from Spencer. And it, from start to finish, it is the end I wish never ended. Doing that this is a review, I guess we have to actually score it, right? But instead of doing A, B, C, Ds like I would from movie reviews, I'm going to actually do this based on a scale of 10. And I'm going to give it an 11 out of 10. Truly, this is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's already my top 10 favorite albums ever. It's a creative masterpiece. I can't really find anything wrong with this album. I've listened to it nonstop since it came out. Literally nothing else. And I am truly excited to see what they're going to do. I would love to see the Silver Scream Chapter 2, like next year, almost how Green Day did Uno Dos Tres, where they just launched album after album for 3 years, and it was great. Fans loved it. I would love to see them do 13 more horror films that they didn't get a chance to do. Alien, The Conjuring, Psycho. Like, there's still so much untapped here, and these guys have the know-how and the creative, like, do it, make it happen. I would truly appreciate also 13 music videos for this. They're talking about iconic films, make your own film. These are all like 10-minute music videos telling their own story. Make it 13 parts. Right now it's at part 4, the end, question mark. We all know we're going to get a part 5. But is it going to go on after that, or is it going to truly be the end? It'd be really cool to see them do 13 music videos to make their own horror film based off of this album. And I would also love it if they released a tablature book so that fellow musicians like myself can learn how to play this. Like, this album, as I've said numerous times, is absolutely outstanding. 11 out of 10. Ice Nine Kills, The Silver Scream. Go check it out. Pick it up in stores today. Well done, guys. Well done. Thank you all for watching. Stay freaky. Let us know what you thought of this album. Let us know what you want us to review next. Feel free to check out the Twitch channel. That's where I'm focusing a lot of my time. Freak_OTRT. And I hope to see you guys next time. Have a great evening.